Hello and welcome into 2023 Realty Pros. We made it and I'm so excited for a new year. I'm excited to have everyone in attendance for this first Realty Talk of 2023. And so we're not going to waste a lot of time. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Porter, who will be presenting to us this morning or afternoon. This afternoon. So thank you so much, Ms. Porter.
Thank you, Anita, as always. Happy 2023, guys. Happy New Year. We are so elated to be in the new year. This is our first Realty Talks of the new year. We have so many tremendous things in store for you guys this year. We're looking forward to everything that we're going to accomplish together, and I cannot be more excited to say Happy New Year. So kudos to all of you. We are midday, as always, Thursdays from 12:30 until 1:30 p.m. for Porterhouse Realty Talks. So hats off to you guys for carving out the time to join us. I promise you will not be disappointed. We share so much information and we will continue to. This first month of the year is just crucial. So just make sure that you set your timer on your phone, your schedules to remind yourself at 12:30 on Thursdays, jump onto Realty Talks because you don't want to miss what's going on there. So today, of course, we are starting with business planning for 2023, but I would be remiss if we didn't at least take an opportunity to share some of the things with you that Mr. Porter and I just have on our hearts to share so that we have a proper perspective for the way that we handle our businesses and the conversations that we're having with our clients for this year. Because we know, of course, there are quite a number of things that we've seen and we've heard in the last market adjustments for 2022. But what does that mean? How do we position ourselves? How are we going to educate our clients to make sure that we have the most robust real estate business that we could have ever had in 2023? So we had an exciting conversation this morning, and I know that Mr. Porter wanted to share a couple of things from that conversation, and I will too, and then we will get into business planning for 2023. Mr. Porter, did you want to go ahead at that point?
I don't know. Did you want to tell them what the vision was for this year, or did you want me to share that?
I'm happy to share it. So the vision for 2023 is establishing your presence and solidifying your position for the year. I heard Dee say something that was very much on par with what it is that we're talking about. She said, I got used to doing this last year, so I figured I would carry it over into this year. So this is what we did with Constant Contact. This is what we did with prospecting. So I went ahead and started making sure that I was prospecting and adding people to Constant Contact for this year, because that is exactly what we want for you guys to do, but well beyond Constant Contact. There have been so many things that we were able to accomplish last year. We had a banner year at Porterhouse International Realty Group, and that is because of you guys and your faithfulness and your diligence, overcoming obstacles, learning, adjusting, and just really bringing it home in 2022. So we really want to commend you guys on that. That being said, there are a lot of things that we have endeavored to establish as a brokerage, as individual agents, as teams, as a Porterhouse family. And we want to make sure that as we move into 2023, that those things are your foundation now. You solidify those things. It's not that we're thinking about it, maybe we'll do it, possibly back and forth. No, absolutely not. We have established those things, and those things need to be solidified. So everything that we're doing moving forward, we are building on that, because that is the foundation for what we're going to do moving forward. And that is how we continue to progress as an organization, as a company, as a family, and for each and every Realty Pro on this line, that is how your real estate business is going to grow. Okay, so grab hold of everything that you learned in 2022. All of the trainings that we had, all of the challenges, all the things that you learned, all of our boot camps and everything that we poured out abundantly into you guys. Grab hold of those things and do not let them go, because they are very much a part of the foundation that we're talking about. So we want you guys to be established in your market, in your marketplace, in your farm area with whomever your target market is. We know some of you were very diligent. You're reaching out to, whether it's, first-time home buyers, builders, or, pre-foreclosures, or whatever it is that you endeavor to do. We want you guys to be solidified in your position. So build on those things, okay? So that is the theme for Porterhouse for 2023, establishing your presence and solidifying your position. So just like what you see Darlene and Aurelia and Angela doing, they didn't just start something and stop. They're establishing their presence. They've done open houses in those communities. They're continuing to do open houses. They're going back after the open houses. They're prospecting, they're door knocking, they're handing out things. That is what it looks like to establish your presence, right? They're going to make sure that their names are known. And that's exactly what we want for each one of you to do. And then you solidify your position. It makes me think of when you grow roots, or even if you are, of course, all of us are familiar with certain sailing terms like anchors. If you're on a ship and you throw out an anchor, now you've solidified your position, and now you're not moving kind of with the waves in a sense. You're solidified in where you're going, you're anchored in. And that is exactly what we are declaring for each and every last Realty Pro in this season that we're in, that you will be established and solidified so that your business has a firm foundation to flourish and thrive like you never imagined you could. So that is that's the first thing that I wanted to share what our vision was for the year. Mr. Porter, let me know when you want to jump in.
I'm ready.
Otherwise, I'll continue.
I'm ready whenever you are.
All right, go ahead.
Thank you, Jasmine. But no, guys, here's where we are. You know, we meet with you guys quite often individually, and when we talk to agents as they're coming into Porterhouse, we're asking them what things are they looking for in a brokerage. A lot of times it's just that support. It's making sure that we continue to train and having somebody there to, you know, kind of be by your side as you do this business. And it's a wonderful thing because that's what we offer at Porterhouse. But one of the things that I really want us to be clear on is that many of us have not yet established our presence. So what, you know, Jasmine talked about, that's the vision, but where does that vision come out of? Where's it born out of? Born out of the heart that we realize and recognize that for many of us in the real estate business, people don't know that who we are and this is what we do. And if you haven't done what you need to do to establish yourself as a business person, establish your business, establish yourself amongst your sphere of influence, establish yourself in your communities, in your organizations. Many of you belong to organizations or churches or your synagogues, mosques, whatever you belong to. Have you established yourself as the realtor, as the go-to person? In your community, in your very own neighborhood? The most disheartening thing for me is to see a house in my neighborhood with a yard sign on it that doesn't say Porterhouse. That's very disheartening to me. I haven't established myself in my community. So this year, what we're saying to each and every one of you is you have to jostle yourself. You're going to have to do whatever you need to do to get out of your own mindset and get into the mindset that this is my year, that I'm going to establish myself. And you're going to talk about what you do. You're going to talk about the realtor that you are. You're going to talk about the successes that you've had. You're going to talk about the organization that you belong to, which is Porterhouse. You're going to start to do those things because you have to see it first before anybody else can. And that's the most important thing. You have to see yourself established as a realtor, as a realty pro, as a licensed real estate agent, ready to do business at any time. You have to give up the mindset that, yeah, but what if I get into a situation where I don't know what to do? That's all right. We love situations where we don't know what to do because we're not so smart that we think that we're the only smart people. We know that we have other smart people we can go to, and that we can find out how to do something brand new that we've never done before, and then that becomes our thing. And we establish ourselves in real estate by just getting out there, talking to people, making sure that we're following up. A lot of us drop the ball. We don't follow up. Even if we get a listing or we get a sale, we don't follow up with the buyers. We don't stay in touch with them. Every buyer that I've ever sold to before is somebody who I've talked to once a year, at least once a year, just to check on them, just to say happy birthday, just to establish that I'm still doing what I do and I love doing what I do, to see if they have any new ideas of what they want to be doing in real estate and letting them know that I'm still the person that they want to come to each and every time. Some of us don't follow up with a lead. Oh, well, it's just a lead. They're not really interested right now, so goodbye to them. No, we need to put them on a campaign. We need to make sure that Boomtown is following up with them. We need to make sure our constant contact is following up with them. Then we want to make sure that we put them in our calendar so that we follow up with them. When you establish yourself, you start to see that you have a whole lot more business to do than what you currently are doing, because we've given up on people. I don't like to give up on people. If somebody tells me they want to buy a house, in my mind, they're going to buy a house. I don't care if it's now or 5 years from now. I'm going to follow up with them every year. I have a cousin. Oh, my goodness. You know how it is with family. I have a cousin. She told me 5 years ago she's ready to buy a house. Then she was going to get married. So she wasn't going to buy a house. Then they're not going to get married. So she is going to buy a house. Then she is going to get married. So now they want to buy a house. But they want to wait. It doesn't matter. I'm still talking to her. And when it's time for her to buy a house, I dare say she's not going anywhere else, because I've been right there. I'll be stepping away. It doesn't matter. She's still a lead. She's still, to me, a client. She's somebody who I hold dear. Then you also have HomeSnap. Many of you haven't logged into your HomeSnap. Many of you haven't logged into a lot of the tools that we afford you here at Porterhouse. We can see it. We're not ignorant of that fact, and we know that you have not yet established yourself in business. Many of us are dual agents. We work another career and we work at Porterhouse. Well, just imagine if you didn't show up at your other career. You wouldn't be established. They would fire you. So the luxury that you have here is that you get to run your own business, but run it. I want you to start setting yourself up so that you work yourself out of a job and work yourself into a business. So being established in business means more than just establishing your presence, but that's one of the first steps. You have to believe in yourself. The number one thing that you sell in real estate is not property. It is you. You sell yourself. And if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will. Nobody else will. That's number one. Number two, you have to establish your business. I want each and every person, and we're going to talk about this, establishing your business. You need to get an LLC. You need to get an LLC. And you need to get it now. And we need to establish business credit so that you can stop saying, well, I can't really afford to market and I can't really afford to advertise. You shouldn't be marketing and you shouldn't be advertising. Your business should be marketing and your business should be advertising. So we need to make sure that we teach you how to establish your presence in business as a business person. You need to be purchasing and using business credit to purchase things that your business needs for you to grow so that your business can take care of you. So we're going to start talking about those things. And then once you get established, we're going to talk about solidifying them. Solidifying them simply means we do what we do, and we do it all the time, and we do it again, and we do it again, and we do it again. We don't just get a settlement and disappear. Some of you get a $13,000 check, and you go home like you hit the lottery, and we don't see you for another 6 months. I don't know about you, but I like getting a $13,000 check and another $13,000 check and another $13,000 check and another $13,000 check. I want to get 23 $13,000 checks this year. And that means that I have to do a whole lot of prospecting, a whole lot of work, and I can't make excuses for myself. I have to establish, and then I have to solidify. And solidify means you make the phone calls, you call people back, you stay up late, you get up early, you show up on time at each and every showing. You do everything that you said you were going to do so that you're a solid business person. People know that they can count on you. They know they can count on your reputation. That's what solidifying means. Then you're going to ask them for a 5-star Google rating once you do your work. Then you're going to ask them for a list of referrals. Then you're going to ask them, hey, can I do your housewarming? Can I get Ms. Darlene to come over and do your housewarming for you? Hey, can I give you an ADT system? Hey, can I do this? And all of those things are post-settlement things that you're supposed to be doing, but you haven't solidified it and you haven't even established it. So the first thing you got to do this year is establish. Some of you have established some things, solidify them. So it's going to be time out at Porterhouse for making any excuses. You have every success tool possibly imaginable. And if you come up with something else, we'll entertain it. And if it works, we'll get rid of something old and we'll bring in something new. It doesn't matter. We want you to be successful. I want to be surrounded by millionaires by now. This is our next 5 years. So the next 5 years, I want everybody that's on this call now to be a millionaire. How you going to do it? You have to start getting out and doing the business the way the business is supposed to be done. Listen to Jasmine Porter. She'll help you get there. Establish yourself if you have not established yourself. Establish your business. Establish what you want to do. Set your plans. When you make these business plans, don't just make them and throw them on the shelves. It's not a New Year's resolution. This is a plan for your success. Do the plan. Man, this ain't working. I don't know. I don't know if I want to be a real estate agent. I don't know. I don't want to hear that this year. And maybe I'm going to go back and do that. Well, go ahead. Because there's a lot of people that's coming that's ready to do the work and they're hungry. We don't want to hear that from Porterhouse anymore. Many of you have saw that if you would have made that decision and walked away, you would have walked away from so much success because your success is always on the other side of the break. The break is just an opportunity for the breakthrough. It's not a breakdown, it's a breakthrough. I jump over walls. I'm excited. I'm ready to knock somebody down this year. And we language. Our language, listen, people talking about interest rates are high. Interest rates are not high. Interest rates are good. Interest rates are good. You just been spoiled because you went through the most incredible economic wave of interest lows in the history of our country. And so now, oh, we ain't got a 3% interest rate anymore. Oh, woe is me. Are you kidding me? I bought my house at a 13. I was happy to knock it down to a 7. So we have to change our mindsets, people. You all have to be on the forefront. This is Porterhouse. We're going to be on the forefront. I don't care what nobody else talking about. Stop watching the bad news. Everything that's on TV is bad news. Stop watching it. It'll mess you up. We don't participate. We never participated in any of these trends that come up. Oh, the housing market is slowing down. Oh, the housing market is speeding up. Oh, we don't care what they say. We know what they say, but we don't believe in it. I believe in us. I believe in you guys. I don't believe in what the market says. We can change markets. You got the power to change markets. I'll give you an example, and then I'm going to shut up, Jasmine. I'm on the soapbox, and I'm going crazy. Okay, listen. I'm excited, guys. Tell me calm down. Calm down. All right. All right. I remember a time when we had a builder. I mean, he wasn't a builder. He was a flipper. He was one of our investment people. I love this guy because his mindset is not like anybody's mindset. He's a multimillionaire. We started listening to his mindset. He purchased a property on a street. When we purchased that property, we got it for him for dirt cheap. We got the relist agreement. We said, listen, we're going to get you this property. We want the agreement to relist it once you make it beautiful. He made the property beautiful. And then he set the bar of the price so high that we said there's no comps that support us asking for that price. He says, I am the new comp. He said, set my price. That's what I'm going to get for this house. He believed it. So guess what? I looked at Jasmine, Jasmine looked at me. We believed it too. We put the property on the market for the price. It had to be $50,000 over what any other house would have sold for on that block. And it wasn't in a great neighborhood. It was just in a regular neighborhood. And when we did the open house, people came. It wasn't a lot of people, but people came. Needless to say, we got that comp. That comp set the market for that neighborhood. That was a brand new comp. Now the house is sold. Now everybody else wants to sell their house. Now guess what? We can get calls because we're the ones that's triggered the whole neighborhood to start saying, hey, maybe we should sell our house. Maybe we can get the comps that we want. Yes. So don't believe in this. 7% is good. Let's get the interest rate. You better get a house. So what does that mean? That means people are going to start looking for a bigger house out in the suburbs again. People are going to be going down to Southern Maryland. People are going to be going up to Waldorf and where else they going? Out Laurel, out Columbia. That's all it's the same. We just going back to equilibrium. So stop buying into that the high interest rates are high. They're not high. They're not high. You think they're high, try to go buy a car. See what interest rates you get. We have good interest rates. That's what we're saying in Porterhouse. The interest rates are good. They're good right now, and I predict they're going to get worse. So we better get buying on right now. People selling homes. Let's get these houses sold. I was so excited to buy new yard signs. I'm telling you, I dreamed of the day we would have so many yard signs that the man would call me and say, we need new signs. And he called me, and I thought it was going to be in the 5th year, but in this year, but it happened in the 5th year. And I'm so excited for that. And I will continue to invest in Porterhouse, but I need you to invest in yourself. I need you to be committed. Solidify yourself. Solidify your position. Put your foot down and don't let nobody else step on your toes. Don't let nobody steal your listings. Close your deals. We got people, they back out, they get scared, all kind of stuff. Stand your ground. We still going to go after that money. They still going to pay us what they owe us. Solidify your business, people. But I'm going to get off the soapbox if I say something crazy, and then the broker get at me, and I don't want to get in trouble. So I love you guys. We're excited. Let's focus on establishing your presence. You have markets, you have communities, you have spheres of influence, you have organizations, you have all kind of things that belong to you. Establish yourself in those things, and then solidify yourselves in those places. Don't let anybody take anything from you this year. This year, 2023, I believe you can close 23, but you have to establish a routine. You have to establish a presence. You have to solidify the routine, and you have to solidify your presence, and you can't take no for an answer. The answer's got to be yes. All right? I'm getting off soapbox, because I know I'm probably in trouble. Okay, love y'all.
That was excellent, Mr. Porter. We appreciate you. We love the passion. It definitely comes through. That's something that each and every last person, hopefully you'll adopt, because you want to be passionate about what it is that you do. When your clients see that you have an excitement and a passion for your business, it's infectious. So we thank you for what you shared, Mr. Porter. And you kind of alluded to the challenge for this year that is a little bit ahead of time, but since you said it, we want to let everybody know this year, the challenge is close 23 in 2023. You guys here on Realty Talks have heard it first. So we will not expound. We'll talk about all of the different challenges and activities for each month and all of the good stuff that awaits you. We'll talk about that on our office meeting, which is going to be Monday, January the 30th. It's going to be here in our Upper Marlboro location. So everybody will be able to come out, and that office meeting is going to be off the charts. So you definitely want to make sure that you carve out time for that. But that being said, along the lines of establishing, you had something else, Mr. Porter?
Just one thing, and I can hear it I heard it in somebody's spirit, but I didn't close 22 in 2022. How you expect me to close 23 in 2023? Well, let me tell you something, Miss whoever said that, or Mr. whoever said that. I guarantee you close a whole lot more than you expected to close at the beginning of the year, because you were focusing on 22. And now we're going to focus on 23. And guess what? I believe that you can do it. That's only 2 closings a month. We can do it. Let's get our pipelines right. Let's get the numbers right. Let's do the math. Let's establish ourselves. Let's establish that presence. Let's solidify in our mind. That's going to be our goal. 23. I can do it. It's 2 closings. It's about 2 closings a month. If 1 month I only get 1, I still won't hit my number. 2 closings a month, I can do that. But what is my pipeline? How many calls do I make? How many doors am I going to? How much early am I going to have to get up? How much later am I going to have to start? I can do it. I can do it. How much investment? Where am I going to get this money from? We're going to get your credit straight. You're going to stop making excuses. Use the business credit and buy your marketing. Buy your leads. I don't care what you got to do. It's worth it. It's worth it. You'll get your money back off of 1 closing. It's worth it. If you spend $7,000 to get $13,000, it's worth it. You just made 45% of your money. That's a credible investment. So if you invest $7,000 and get 1 closing at $13,000, come on, guys. That's business. That's how business operates. I ain't spending $7,000. You're not spending it. You invest in $7,000 to get $13,000. You make your $7,000 back and you get the pocket 6. But that ain't even realistic. Most of us don't even invest $7,000. You don't even invest $100. You don't invest $700. And you expect the world. It doesn't work like that. We invest tons every year into you guys, into Porterhouse, into ourselves. just to get a little bit back, but it's worth it. It's worth it for your success. So 23 and 2023, no excuses.
Thank you so much, Mr. Porter. Aim high. So your business plans, they're in your Broker Mint library. We've emailed them to you guys, and I know that a group of you've already started working on them. So kudos to you, but we want to make sure that everybody is aware that they are there and available for you. And the deadline is the 17th of January. So email those completed business plans over to me by the 17th of January. My calendar link is in your dashboard in Broker Mint as always. Then we need to go ahead and schedule our one-on-ones. Okay. We're going to go through the business plan, the first part of it today, and we'll pick this up on next Thursday's Realty Talks. But so there's some very important parts that I want to highlight as we have the last 20 minutes or so of this call. This business plan as a whole is imperative for you to do. I know a lot of us have books that we like to read. Some people are in book clubs. Some people read magazines. Some people look at HGTV. But I promise you, when you go through this business plan and you invest the time that you need, it is going to really set the stage for your whole year. So of course, you can just look at it and go to the information page that you need to write down a couple numbers, but you would be cheating yourselves. So I want to make sure that you value your time, your success as much as we do. Because you guys, if you've been a member of Porterhouse for a day, then you know that Mr. Porter and I absolutely value and believe in you, and we're going to support you and do everything that we can to help make you successful. That being said, we need you to partner with us. We can't, push and do all these things and have you sitting back not doing your part. This is your part this year. Your part is to do the things that we're teaching you to do because they will absolutely equate to your success. Okay. As you see here in your business plan, your success equals planning plus execution, right? You don't want to just execute and not know what your plans and your goals are, or just plan and not execute. The two have to go hand in hand. Okay. So your goals, your why is 95% of your success. It's the reason why you're doing it. And you guys know at the core of everything that we're doing, we believe passionately in what we do in real estate. We are changing people's lives every single day. We are ministers in the marketplace. We are bringing people into their dreams. People dream of home ownership, and some people believe they thought that it was never even possible, but you literally change a person's life when you make them a homeowner. You change their financial position, you change their legacy, wealth, income, you change their financial standing, you change their ability to accommodate family structures. You literally affect every area of their lives, and studies even show people's health and happiness improve as homeowners also. So this, I promise you, we could spend a whole Realty Talks on how people's lives are changed by homeownership, but we won't. The purpose is we believe in everything that we're doing, and we're passionate about that. When you help somebody to sell a house, you are helping them to divest their interest in something that maybe they've owned for the last 10 years, 30 years, 50 years. Maybe it's an heir property. Maybe their grandmother gave it to them. Maybe it's where they raised their kids. Maybe it's, where they've had many life events. But the bottom line is they got into it with the goal of owning real estate and just having income and having the American dream from their real estate investment. And now they're at a point where they can actually liquidate those assets and go to the next level in their lives, and you're helping them to do that. So we want to make sure that we have a sober mindset that what we're doing is not a hobby. This is who we are. It's what we do. And we're very, very passionate about it. Okay. The plan, without a plan of action, you have no direction. So that's what we're talking about today, your plan of action. Your plan of action, there are going to be certain skills that you'll need in order to accomplish your plan of action. And of course, we go over this in our trainings every single week. You guys are here for trainings. You want to make sure that you reach out to anybody that you don't see on this call, and the people that you do see on this call, make sure that you link up with them and remind them, hey, we have training. Don't leave anybody out. We don't want to leave anybody behind. So we want to make sure that we grab hold of every single one of our Porterhouse family members and grab them, pull them in on this information, because it's going to be a tremendous benefit to them. That being said, your action plan. We go over your entire wheel of life, of course, because we are very intentional about focusing on the business, but we do understand that we're not all business. So I'm not going to go through every line of this, but I really, really want for each and every last one of you to go through every page of your action plan. your business plan rather. There's an exercise where you do visualization for 30 to 45 minutes. We tell you guys to pray. Pray about it for 30 to 45 minutes. You want to be led. You want to see the things that you believe are in your spirit for you for the next 5 years. And you want to go ahead and start writing those things down, because then our next steps are to help you to accomplish those things. In your wheel of life, you're going to see everything there from physical, spiritual, mental, family, financial, business, social, fun, and contribution. You see that zero in the middle. That zero in the middle will allow you to go all the way up to 100 at the end. So each of those are like pie slices. If you say, okay, in the area of mental, maybe I'm a 75, maybe I want to get to 100. What does that look like? What does 100% look like for you? If you say I'm at 30%, what does that look like for you? Your goal is to advance every single year. So that's how you complete that particular portion of it, right? So for this, I'm going to continue to move quickly through these first few pages because I really want to get to the page where we're breaking down the numbers for you guys. With your next 5 years, you're going to write down your next 5-year goals in each one of those areas. Now you're going to go to 2022. What did that look like for you? Every last one of you, you know what you did that year. You know how many days, or you should have a good idea of how many days you work, what your prospecting looked like, whether it was consistent, whether it was inconsistent. You know how many appointments you had, how many properties you sold, all of those things you want to recap. Why are we doing that? Because there's some things that we're talking about establishing and solidifying that we want to make sure that you build on, some foundations that you've already established that we want to help you to shore up so that you can expand and progress further than you ever thought you would be able to in this year 23. That being said, we got to know what you did. You've got to be able to take a look and say what worked, what didn't work, what do I need to change, what do I need to stop doing completely. And in order for us to do that, when we sit down in our one-on-one, we need you to take a cold, hard look at what you did and be blatantly honest, completely transparent with yourself and in our meeting as well, because the goal is to help you to get to the next level. The goal is to help you to get 23 in 2023. No questions asked. So just like Mr. Porter said, if you hear that voice in the back of your head saying, well, I didn't get 22 in 2022, shut it down. Because many of you, we commend you. You've done way more than you've done in your real estate business since you have had a real estate license, because your goal was 22 in 2022. So we are going to keep pushing you. We believe in you. We're going to keep investing in you. And we're going to take no excuses for you reaching the goals and the dreams that you have for yourself in real estate. That's your recap. Your ratios, you need to know what that looks like, okay? Your plan for 2023. This is where you're going to break down that plan for 2023. And that's what we're going to go through when we sit down together. Your business goals for 2023. How many days are you going to work, prospect? How many listing appointments do you need to take? And if you notice that says making it easy and breaking down the numbers, I'm glad that you did, because that comes from this very next page. And here is a cheat sheet. This is very easy. This is a cheat sheet for you. We know that our goals are much higher, but just so that you have a realistic picture of what that looks like when it comes to you filling in these pages where it says my business goals for 2023, this is how you break down those numbers, okay? This is where we're going to spend a little bit of time today. And for those of you that have been here for more than a year, then you should know this like the back of your hand, because the ratios don't change. These are numbers that are based on national averages from NAR for what this needs to look like in order for us to meet any goal that we set for ourselves, okay? As an example, the average sales price as of November of 2022 was $444,246. which is tremendous in comparison to what it was years ago. At a 3% sales commission, that's $13,327.38. That's where Mr. Porter got that $13,000 from. If you are an 80% agent, then you're taking home $10,661.90 out of that for every transaction. So if your goal was only to net $100,000 in earnings, then you would only need 10 transactions in order to do that. So how are we going to now solidify and establish ourselves so you know specifically what you need to do and your action plan is clear and focused so you know how to get those 10 transactions closed, right? And this is if they were only 10, but we know they're 23, they're 23 in 2023. So we can adjust this, but just for the sake of your understanding, so you know how to work these formulas, we always say 60% listings, 40% buyers. So that would be 6 sold listings and 4 closed buyers. And ratios show that for every 2 listings that you take, you'll sell at least one of those. We don't believe in that. We believe you can sell a whole lot more. We believe in closing every transaction. Those things that are outside of our control, they're outside of our control, but we believe that we can close every single transaction. But using these numbers to be conservative, you take the number of listings that you need to sell and multiply it by the number 2, so you know the number of listings that you need to take. The same thing for the buyer number that you need to close. Take that number, multiply it by 2, so you know the number of buyers that you need to take. And then as it pertains to your appointments, how many appointments do you need to go on in order to take that many listings and get that many buyer agreements signed? 24 listing appointments in order for you to get those 12 listings, okay? And you need to have 16 buyer consultations this year in order for you to get those 8 buyers. That is only 40 appointments for a whole 365 days this year. And because we've already gotten through the first 5 of them, you have 360 days to have only 40 appointments this year. So let's talk about what you need to do in order to solidify the leads that you need in order to have those appointments that are going to convert into clients and close units for this year. Leads. There's a 5-to-1 ratio. This means that for every 5 leads that you generate, you're going to get 1 appointment. And we'll say at least 1 appointment, because we don't believe that you can only get 1 appointment. We believe that, like Mr. Porter said, whether they're a prospect for 5 years, 5 months, 7 years, you can still close that deal. And we have very many testimonials from clients that we have worked with over the long run, and they end up closing a deal with you, sending you so many referrals. So we want for you guys to make sure that you capture and keep hold of every single lead that we've ever sent to you, that you've ever generated from your own prospecting. Anybody that's called you, we want to make sure that you value them and know that they are a seed that can absolutely help your business to flourish in this year and beyond. So value them, every single person. And I promise I want to say that several more times, but I hope you got it and it's recorded for you in case you need to hear it again. We will continue to move forward. So if you need 40 appointments this year, that means you only need to generate 200 leads. 200 leads is going to get you 40 appointments. And you know where that goes from there. 200 leads. There's a 12-to-1 ratio. Dee started out talking about constant contacts. Every single person that we come in contact with, you want to be intentional about converting them from a contact to a prospect. You want to get their information, of course, their name, telephone number, email address, and you want to add them to your book of business in your constant contact and in your CRM, which is your Boomtown account. That is how you're going to keep touch with these people so that they'll see you on a monthly, bi-weekly basis, and they'll think of your name. They'll think of, Anita Bowie. They'll think of Dee Richardson. They'll think of Angela Skipper and every other Realty Pro on the line whenever they're ready to purchase, because you stayed in front of them. So for every 12 people that you talk to, you're going to get 1 lead. For every 12 people, you'll get at least 1 lead. So if you need 200 leads this year, and you know that all you have to do is talk to 12 people in order to get a lead that wants to buy, sell, invest in real estate, what does that mean you need to do on a daily basis? Somebody come off of mute and tell me what you need to be doing on a daily basis. And this is not a difficult question, because I promise the giveaway is right there on the screen, but I want to make sure that you guys are following me. I want to make sure that you hear, and the things that we've been doing year after year, I want to make sure that it is solidified in your mind and spirit. What do you need to be doing every single day?
Prospecting.
Absolutely. Expound on that. Anybody?
Building relationships and contacting people and letting them know that you're there to help.
Absolutely. Somebody else. Keep expounding on that. Let me ask you this question. Where can you prospect? Where can you meet people and build relationships?
Everywhere we go,
Yeah.
and in our phones.
Say that one more time, Anita.
Everywhere we go and in our phones.
Excellent. D, I see you put something in the chat. D said,
She,
talk with whomever you see, listen in on conversations. I like it, D. Any other thoughts behind that?
Always wear your name badge wherever you go. No one knows you're an agent if you don't have your badge on. Or your shirt, or your Realty Pro shirt.
Say it, Darlene. So that part, this is not difficult to comprehend. So any of you can teach this, because I'm sure that all of you have a wealth of experiences in prospecting. You have some very creative ideas or some things that you've learned to do in this prospecting arena. And we will have quite a hefty prospecting training for you guys this year. We have quite a bit, as always. That is the meat of what we do in real estate. You have to prospect 24/7, okay? That being said, we know that we're not robots. And as this business plan is all encompassing, we know that you want to have a balanced life, and we do too. So that being said, if you need to have 2,400 contacts, only 2,400 contacts this year in order to meet, the 100K in closed transactions for you, then if you say, okay, well, I want to work 220 working days this year, then how many contacts do you need to make per day in order to have 2,400 contacts? And there's a giveaway because it's right on the screen for you.
Oh, 40. I thought 20.
11 contacts a day.
11 contacts. There you go. So somebody read that last sentence at the bottom of the page. It starts with at 8.
At 8 to 12 contacts per hour, that equates to 1 to 1.5 hours of daily prospecting to achieve $100,000 in earning this year.
Thank you so much for reading that, Anita. I wanted to make it through that page, most importantly, guys, because that is essential for the sake of clarity. You have to know what your goals are. You have to know the numbers in order for you to be able to monitor your in order for you to be able to monitor your success. You have action plans, you have SMART goals, you have all of these things that we need to track. But in order for us to track them, you got to set them. Okay? So if you're doing nothing else, your job is to talk to people everywhere you go, be intentional about creating opportunities to share your passion about real estate and your desire to help people to come into home ownership, sell their homes, build their investment portfolios. That should be your daily conversation for at least 220 working days per year, at least 220 working days per year. And Mr. Porter and I were passionate about planning vacations, and you guys should be as well, but you shouldn't just stumble upon them. You should plan them so that you know at least for 4 weeks out of the year, you're going to be on vacation, so that for the rest of the year, you're able to focus clearly on your real estate goals, guys. So plan your time off. Time blocking is essential. We won't go through the SMART goal action planner today. We're going to get to that next week. But before we do, I want to go to this time blocking component because this is essential. Mr. Porter talked in the beginning and said that we have a number of dual career agents in Porterhouse, and we do. That being said, some of our top agents have been dual career agents consistently. So we want to make sure that everybody has a mentality that all things are possible if you believe, and we are absolutely believers, but what you need to do is be prepared. You need to time block. You've got to sit down, you've got to get you a planner and look at the time that you say, okay, well, this is already committed. Block off the time first and foremost that is already committed to something. It may be Wednesday evening Bible studies. It may be Saturday morning haircuts. It may be dropping off the kids, every day from 7 to 8 p.m., whatever that looks like, the time that is already committed indefinitely for something, that's the first thing that you want to block off on your planner. Block those things off every single week. And once you do, you're going to look back at your planner and you're going to see all the time that you have available that you never even considered. Okay. And during that time, that's when you're going to start filling in all of the things that we will talk about that your prospecting activities need to entail. But you want to organize your day in such a way that you have a block of time that is committed to prospecting every single day. Okay. We know that the goal is going to be 23 for 2023. So you're going to take what we had on there for that hour to hour and a half prospecting and double it. So you have 2 hours per day of prospecting so that you can get all of the contacts that you need. And there's so many ways of prospecting. Anita said, everybody you know and everybody in your phone. Dee said, everywhere you go. Darlene said, wearing your business, your name tag and your real estate shirt. There's so many opportunities to prospect, guys. Door knocking like they're doing, going to, using social media. Social media is probably the biggest prospecting opportunity that we've seen in a century. And I will say that again, social media is the biggest prospecting opportunity because in one day on social media, you can sit down and get 500 contacts that you didn't have the day before. You can diversify across the different platforms from LinkedIn to Facebook to Instagram to Twitter or to what's the other one, guys? The really big one. TikTok. There you go. To all of those different platforms, and you can gain so many different contacts that you didn't have the day before and be intentional about connecting with those people. So I'm saying that because I want for all of us to have an abundance mentality and know that there are a wealth of people to connect with, and there are tremendous streams and avenues to connect with people. Of course, in person, over the phone, through mailers, through door knocking, through online prospecting, through all of these avenues that we will continue to talk about so that you solidify your position in those things. Okay. Does anybody have any questions about anything thus far? Okay, so I don't want to keep us too much past time, and I'm going to go into this in depth next week when we come back to go over our business planning. For each and every last one of us, I want you guys to focus on these things, however, because with your business planning, the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to time block. And then when we get to your action planner, let me open this up really quickly. Won't go through it in detail, but I want you to see where we're going. Your action planner, after you've done your business plan and you've specified the what you need to do, you've specified your target market, your farm area, then you're going to bring it over to your action planner, and then you're going to walk out those goals in a smart fashion so that you're identifying specifics, you're making it measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. And we're going to talk about this in detail next week. This, however, is where you're going to do your tracking, because this is how you're going to track based on your time-bound goals. If this is to complete this number by the end of the month, then every month you're coming back to this action planner and you're saying, okay, what did I do? Was I able to accomplish that? Are there any revisions needed to that? From here, these things are going in your actual planner that you use on a daily basis, okay? So make sure that you buy your planners. We talk about it every single year. There are so many planners that you could use. There are planners that are from National Association of Realtors, from PG Card. There are planners that people use outside of the ones that are the board kind of sponsored planners, if you will. But get you a planner so that these things that are specifically identified on your SMART Goal Action Planner, you're then able to write them into your weekly planner to help you stay on target. Okay? So I'm going to stop right here for now. Does anybody have any thoughts, any questions, anything that they'd like to share? I'm going to turn the floor over to you guys for the next couple minutes. Charlene, you're having a whole lot of static. If there's someone else out there, you guys got to mute yourselves. I'm on back when you get your audio hooked up. In the meantime, does anybody else have any questions, any thoughts, anything that they'd like to share or add to the conversation?
Ms.
Time.
Porter.
Yes.
Yeah, so what I wanted to say is I'm glad that although, we may not have hit the projected goal for 2022, I'm glad that we have opportunity to do it again. That is not lost on 2022. And so there's not an opportunity to, regroup, reorganize, reassess, and, come into 2023 with the idea of being able to be successful because we missed it the last time. We get another chance to do it again this year.
Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing that. And this is very intentional, guys. Like we said, you guys have done a phenomenal job last year. There are many of you who have hit record highs in your career because the goal was high and you aimed high. So we are not going to have low expectations of you guys and allow you to aim low from that perspective. We believe in you and we're going to keep pushing you because we know that each and every last one of you can do it. Thank you for that, Anita. Darlene, have you gotten your audio together? I don't want to miss whatever you wanted to include in the conversation.
I guess
It sounds like a robot.
I just actually got excited when
It sounds like a robot, Darlene. Did you dial in through your carrier or are you on the Wi-Fi audio? It sounds like a robot.
If you hang up, Darlene, and you can dial back in, and make sure you use the dial-in mechanism when you call back in. That kind of works, everybody. By the way, when you're doing the Zoom calls, to make sure you use the dial-in. Jasmine.
Yes.
I got this.
Yeah, I think we have to mute.
You got it. Okay.
I think that maybe Aurelia chiming in. We hear you,
Yeah,
Aurelia.
I was gonna let Darlene use mine, but I think she's trying to log back in.
Yours
Can you
is
hear?
clear. We can hear
She
you
said mine is
clear.
clear, so you can go ahead and do mine. Use mine. Yeah. Okay.
Aurelia, we heard you clearly. Now Darlene sounds
Oh,
distant. Is she using your phone?
oh, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. There you are.
What happened? Oh, okay. I had to have the headphone on. So I said that this was a part of prospecting. And I was excited when we left out of Copperville because there was a home in the neighborhood that had an open house the same weekend that we had an open house. And it's still on the market. And so I'm like, we've had the open house in that house and closed, and this house was still on the market. So that is definitely something that, when I go back into that neighborhood to point out, I mean, so we went on the market after this house as well, too. This house was on the market for 85 days. So that's right, exactly. So that was I just felt good when we left out of that neighborhood and I saw that. I'm like, oh, that house, they had an open house the same day we did. So, but anyway, but again, that is, I would say from my and I don't like to say our training, understanding how to price a home or help the sellers price the home right. So I just wanted to point that out. That was exciting.
Kudos, hats off to you ladies. Great job. Well, I think we can go ahead and end the recording there for today. If you guys had any more questions, we are available. Mr. Porter, did you have anything to say? I see you've unmuted yourself.
I'll wait for you to end the recording.
Okay. Anita, we can go ahead and end the recording for today.